Week's Journal, Inspiring Faith at Work.
Hello, my name is Patrina Caldwell and I'm a member of the Christian Medical and Dental Fellowship of Australia. Today I'm introducing Anna, who is an Allied Health member of CMDFA. Anna is about to go from the Allied Health category to the Allied Health Missionary member category, and I'd like to talk to Anna about this. Hello, Anna, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for spending time talking to us. Anna, I wonder if you would mind sharing with us how your interest in mission first began.
I grew up the daughter of missionary parents. My parents were agriculturalists working in the Congo before I was born. After I was born, they worked in Zimbabwe and travelled in and out of Central Africa. So I grew up with, an understanding or knowledge of mission, of overseas community development or aid work. So my, interest was sparked quite early on. But also through my high school years and some years just out of school, I had the opportunity to go on short-term trips to visit some international workers and ministry workers overseas. These trips were also quite formative in, expanding my understanding and my knowledge of what ministry work overseas and cross-culturally could look like. That's where I got quite excited about the possibility of one day myself serving and working overseas in a cross-cultural context.
Great. And we know of lots of people who have aspirations, but very few take that next step. So would you like to share with us how your interests moved from just an interest in missions to actually the decision to do long-term missions?
Certainly not an easy decision. I'd say this is one that took about 6 years to come to pass. There was many almost false starts, many times where I thought we'd make the commitment and move, and then for one reason or another it didn't pan out. And in some ways, I guess that was a bit disheartening, but in retrospect, I'm very glad that it did take that long. One of the main realizations came when I went to Northern Africa and was able to volunteer or work alongside other health professionals. And I realized with my 2 or 3 years of physiotherapy qualifications, I didn't feel equipped yet. I felt underqualified and that I lacked professional experience. That was humbling and disappointing, but it meant then I went back to Australia, had the opportunity to further, my studies and also my experience and training. And although I still feel like I have a lot to learn, I definitely feel as though I am slightly better equipped. Also, I think there was a real process of checking my motivations as to why I wanted to go. Initially, I think I really wanted to go to make a difference, to have an exciting life, which in and of itself isn't bad or dangerous. But my primary motivating factor wasn't to love the local people, to be interested in their culture. It wasn't to serve the local community. Instead, it was, maybe to be a bit superhuman and do something exciting. And that was also a difficult process, a humbling process. Now I think I recognize when we move overseas, sort of end of this year, move to Central Asia, I will be very much out of my depth. I will be learning a lot more than I will be teaching others, especially in the first couple of years. And that is okay. That's actually a good place to be.
Yeah, so Anna, you were just saying that your primary motivation, you realised, was around wanting a nice experience rather than loving the people. Presumably, by saying that has changed. So what led to that change of direction?
I think with delayed going, so not being able to just jump on a plane and move overseas, instead needing to spend more time studying and training and Also, I went to Bible college and got more actively involved in community development and ministry work here in Australia. I think that made me open my eyes a little bit more to the need here on my doorstep here in Australia, that people who are marginalised are lonely. They right here in Australia, we don't need to travel very far to meet them. So part of the process was, I think being a bit more aware of suffering, of hurt. It's very easy for us, or I guess we would prefer to avoid the pain, the real pain and loss that we feel as humans. So part of my journey was asking what I could be doing here, whether it was some community development work or volunteer work on a weeknight, or helping out at a refugee centre on a weekend. It was definitely changing my priorities, or how I use my time and my money, and that, I guess, softened my heart. And also a bit of a reality check with what I wanted to be able to do, having achieve, I guess, with my skills or my qualification or my training, and realizing that community development work and cross-cultural ministry is a lot more relational. It's a lot slower. It's a lot less about projects or end goals, and a lot more about just spending time getting to know people. Also, part of my study and training involved community development work from a Christian perspective, and that was also a lot less about goals and the targets and achievements, and a lot more about walking alongside people, about empowerment, about local advocacy that's led by local people, local communities, as opposed to international workers that step in and step out. So it definitely was a slow shift in my expectations, and one that will continually be challenged, but a very helpful change in perspective.
Fantastic. So it's been a steep learning curve, and I guess we never stop learning. So you articulated what your previous reasons were for going now. So at the stage you're at now, what do you think is your current motivation for going?
More than anything, the fact that we are first loved by Jesus, that he first loved us just the way that we are. Also, the life of Jesus, we see it perfectly embodied, words and deed. He cared for the poor, the marginalized, the lonely. He loved them, and part of that was an action. Jesus sought people out. He met them where they were at. He cared for them. He provided love and attention. But he also shared the gospel, the hope of eternal salvation through him. I really hope that my primary motivation is and will continue to be the fact that Jesus cared for me in my broken and weak and vulnerable state. He loved me, and he loves everyone, and every person on earth has inherent worth and value. I think it is a continual prayer and a continual check-in with myself that is my motivation, that it is not one of ambition or excitement, although those are not bad things. It is something that I will continue to ask for help from the Holy Spirit for, a humbling of spirit, and to work, to love mercy and to seek justice. That the words of Micah 6:8 is a beautiful scripture, and it's one that I hope will embody my practice and my work going forward.
Yeah, thank you. So I think what you're describing is, love in action, just as Jesus did. So my next question is, how is your profession helping you in this journey that you're on?
I know for me that the opportunity to bring the gospel to a country where not many people have the opportunity to hear it, I wanted to use, I guess, my skills that I have in order to be able to work and live in a culture where I wouldn't be able to otherwise. And I think the real blessing that we have as being health professionals, both allied health and dentist and medical health professionals, is that we can demonstrate the care and love through the provision of healthcare and through education and training. I think that is just a phenomenal blessing. It in some ways quite easy to be practical, to act, to care, but it also gives us the opportunity to demonstrate that Christ-like love through our work. I'm quite passionate about holistic ministry or holistic mission. The idea of, like you mentioned, both words and deeds going hand in hand. So, and living with integrity, so that both through your work, through your lives, your social life, your community, and also through your words and all aspects of your life reflect the love of Christ. I was quite careful with what I chose to study for this reason. It's the reason why I chose physiotherapy, is because I wanted to work and serve in a culture where there weren't many Christians, and also spend time with people, spend time with patients. Yeah, I'm also quite pleased to be working once I moved to Central Asia, to be working for a community development organisation. So to be working in quite a big health team, an international health team made up of international people like myself and also locals, and working in a framework where we partner and walk alongside local communities and local individuals. The benefit of my physiotherapy skills in particular is in this country or in this region, allied health or rehabilitative sciences is in its infancy. And there are some local health advocates which are quite proactive, local people who have sought training through short-term courses, often they're parents of children with high support needs or a disability who've sought the training out themselves. There's also local health professionals, local doctors, even health ministers or health ombudsmen that are quite passionate about local reformation and building evidence-based practice in their country. So I'm excited to be working alongside people like that.
That sounds amazing. And it sounds like you're going to be both working with the local people who are patients and sufferers themselves, and also with local health professionals to upskill them in doing the sort of stuff that you're bringing along. So just my final question, Anna, was how has CMDFA helped, or how can CMDFA help you and others on a journey like yours?
I think the realization that there are other people that are passionate about both healthcare but also the love of Christ, and the opportunity that healthcare provides to share that love. I think I've been incredibly inspired and encouraged. I think the idea of holistic mission and both works and deeds going hand in hand surprisingly isn't something that's very well understood in many circles in Australia, and that's something that I'm quite passionate about. I guess educating people and sharing my heart for holistic mission. But I've found that this community is full of people that are also passionate and also excited. I think the prayer group in particular, or the opportunity of having prayer support is fantastic. And just a community of like-minded individuals that can spur and encourage one another on is something that is a true blessing.
Thank you. So that's right. CMDFA are passionate about holistic ministry and health care and serving God internationally in that sense. And we do care about people going like yourself and very much want to support you. So if people want to know more about it, please contact the CMDFA site. So just to finish off, Anna, is there any last words that you might like to say?
I think the main, I guess, encouragement is the step of, or the idea of going overseas to serve and to work with your professions may seem very daunting. I know it has been for me, and it has also not been an easy journey to get to where we are. But I think at the very start of the journey, it just begins with asking questions. So whether it is asking a member here, or like you said, reaching out for some more information, whether it's connecting with overseas cross-cultural ministry worker that you may know, And the more information you find, the more you realize it's not as confronting, it's not as impossible. And in actual fact, we're asked to come as we are. We're asked to come with our fears and our vulnerabilities and our lack of knowledge, but willingness to learn. And Jesus is able to use us, whatever we bring to the table. So it's, I guess, the primary thing I would like to share is an encouragement. If anybody has a little inkling of maybe that's something that maybe one day I could do, ask questions, gain more information, and start by praying, praying for your heart that it may be open to loving others and serving others, and also pray for cross-cultural workers both here in Australia and overseas.
Well, thank you so much, Anna, for your time. And I'm very conscious that you and your family will be going overseas very soon, and we will continue to pray for you and the work you do there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.